Okay, I think everybody is good. Everybody's got the right seat, and we're looking forward to an amazing afternoon. I'm John from LA Poverty Department and the Skidrow History Museum, where we have the mind, spirit, and history of Charles Porter and his amazing picture. You can come by and spend 5 minutes or 5 days over here checking it out. Better if you did do 5 days, we like that. And anyway, we're thrilled to have all these wonderful people here today. Some people we've known for a long time, and other people just getting to know. And ditto for all the wonderful people over here. And now, Charles Porter.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your patience. It was a little crazy getting here, but all the stars are now in alignment, so we're about to do our thing. Before we get started, I want to do a little quick libation just to acknowledge the sacredness of who we are. The name of this exhibit is Cosmology and Community, Networks of Liberation, but the deeper significance to that is our connection on a spiritual level and how profound that really is. And so libation is an ancient African custom of honoring the forces that support us and the forces that protect us and heal us. And so I'm gonna do a quick one. It's not gonna be too elaborate. Sometimes now people do libations at would you say the 10-minute version? Yeah. No. The abbreviated short. My family, they got jokes. So there'll be a lot of laughter today as well as knowledge. And so sometimes now people do libations at community events and mainly to honor people who passed away. But the libation is deeper than that. We do honor our ancestors, but we also honor those spiritual forces that created everything that exists. So it's also appropriate, today is Earth Day. So we honor the sacredness of our planet, of the elements that support us. And so the libation I learned, this is my short one for real. We use water, sometimes people use alcohol. And so water in Europe is called omi. So we say omi tutu. Omi tutu means cool water. Omi tutu. And then we say Ona tutu. So Ona is our path. So we say, yeah, you can say Ashe. You can do that. Ashe. Ona tutu says, may our path be cool. We use water also. There's a proverb in Yoruba culture that says water has no enemies because everything that exists depends on water to exist. And so that also shows how we're interconnected. Ile tutu. Ile is the ground. Ile also can mean home, depending on the pronunciation. And so may our homes be cool. May the land be cool. Tutu Laroye. Laroye is our conversation, communication, man. We always communicate with each other in a cool manner. Ori tutu. Ori is our head, so man, we always keep a cool head and always make the best choices and decisions. You can't undo a bad, choice that you made. It's consequences and repercussions. So we want to make sure we always make the best choices. And we say Egun. Egun tutu is Egun are all of our collective ancestors. May our ancestors be cool and refreshed and pleased with what we do. So we give honor to the Creator that created us all. We give honor to all the spiritual forces that support us and protect us and guide us and inspire us. And we also honor the sacredness of each individual who's present here today. And whenever libation is done, it's also prayer for longevity. So we also pray that we be spared from all the negative things in life, like death, sickness, affliction. I'll run them down real quick since it's a short version. I'm already in the minute. So look, all the bad things that you do not want to see in your life, may we not see them. And may our families not see them. And may all the good things that you're seeking, may it reach us quickly. And may it stay with us and our families. Ashe. That's a record. Yeah. That's right. You know, you gotta start off on a good foot. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now, I wrote a few notes just to tie in my intro. I'm actually very excited because I have some of my favorite people and some people that I'm a fan of right here on the panel with me. So I'm humbled to be here. I thank the Pottery Department for giving me the opportunity to put this exhibit together. So if you want, as John mentioned, it takes a minute to go through it because there's a lot of interactive stuff. But if you know me, you can hunt me down. I give you the breakdown. There's a few videos online too, just to be explaining some of it. But just for me, it's an honor to talk about who I am and my connection to the community and also the networks that I have. So this is my extended family right here today, and we hope to inspire folks and just educate and share different perspectives. I'm gonna limit my talking so we can hear from the great folks. I'm not self-conscious about it, but I do want to give an opportunity to the all-stars. I don't consider myself an all-star in this arena. No. I'm just a moderator. I mean, that's the role. Okay. Superstar? Okay, all right, I accept that. Okay, so networks of liberation, okay, are the communities and families we create to support, protect, heal, and inspire ourselves. For me, this is the Black diaspora and the preservation and promotion of Black spirituality and wellness practices. The discussion today will touch on music and its relation to healing, as well as something profoundly present, nurturing, and instructive. Music is my sanctuary, a place of refuge and renewal. The title for the discussion today was inspired by Gary Bart's song, Music is My Sanctuary. And it's a very powerful song. It used to be one of my favorite songs, and then I forgot about it. And then as I was preparing for this exhibit, I heard it again, and I said, what happened? How did I forget about this great song? That will be the title of the panel. And I sent it to Anya, and she was like, you didn't tell me this was the title. I forgot this was the title. And so, powerful song, but one of the things that in the chorus that he says, when life puts that juju on you, you gotta be like me, you gotta have the great. And so that talks about how powerful music is as a medicine. Because in African culture, medicine is not just something you get from a doctor. Medicine is a spiritual force that protects you. So that's what a gree-gree. A gree-gree is a charm. It's a medicine that you carry on you to protect you from negative spirits, and to protect you from harm, and to bring you good luck. So this is an African concept. When we talk about medicine, we're also talking about good luck. We're talking about protection. We're talking about being forewarned, and so that you avoid tragedies, so that you avoid accidents, so that you avoid mistakes. Like our ancestors believe that is wellness. If you're having a series of misfortunes, then that's an illness. There's something that's happening in your life that's not in order. And so that requires spiritual intervention. And so that's part of what medicine looks like in our culture. So that's powerful. That song for me really connects with what I wanted to present to the community and the folks who, for me, represent that. So also, if music, so this is, I was getting a little poetic. If music can be timeless, it can also be boundless and beyond place and space, connecting different dimensions. The panelists today are my extended family and will share their wisdom, talent, and power, giving us a greater understanding of community and purpose. So what I want to do before I get into the panel, I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to ask them questions. We'll go around, and then after the conversation, they'll demonstrate their skills. I had one of my honored special guests that I had invited is very busy, about Felipe Garcia Villamil, and I didn't coordinate with his schedulers. Yeah. So I talk about them in the intro, and it's actually, there's a rendition of them on the last mural right there, drumming. So I'm gonna do a little presentation about Felipe. So I went to this mindset of what would Bao Felipe say. So I spent a lot of years, around him, and I was gonna play some audio recordings because I recorded like hours and hours of just conversation, but I want to share a few photos and talk a little bit about his life and his connection and how that relates to me. And then we'll open it up. So first I'll start out by saying, I'm gonna stick to the script so that I hit all the points that I want to hit. I know,
He's your timekeeper.
you see him? You see him? Y'all keep an eye on him.
He's like TikTok.
Yeah, he's doing this thing. We
Don't do
good.
the bad guy.
We got plenty of time. That's my motto. We got plenty of time. Okay, so music.
Mind if I could put some time on the meter?
Time in your meter? Oh, you saying we really? You know what? Go put some time in your meter.
I am not the timekeeper.
I know that's right.
Where's your meter? Right here?
It's the next block right here.
Okay.
It's probably back in 2 minutes. Less
It's
than 2
okay,
minutes.
take your time.
You should have told us I would have had it in your
That's where I was going.
Okay. Oh, that's why I stopped him from going? He was going to put money in the meter and I stopped him. No. Well, you know that happens. So he'll be right back though, just for real. I'll update him later. Me and Ray, we got that connection. He's gonna say, what did I miss, brother Charles? I said, no, don't even trip. I'll do the slideshow for you. But before we get into the slideshow, give me like 6 minutes. Okay, 6 minutes, and then I'll give you the cue for the lights to go off. So music has always been a part of my life. I grew up in it. Most of us have always heard music, and so I think for me, the earliest real memories of music and the power of music, I would say, come from my grandmother, Mabel Wilson.
Come on.
And I grew up in a community that really was a village, so my neighbors were family members. And it was property that my grandmother and grandfather owned, and then they divvied it up to their children. And so right next door is one of my uncles, and then 2 doors down were my grandparents. So my parents were always busy hustling and traveling, business trips, and so we spent a lot of time at my grandmother's house eating up her food. We knew where she hid all the secret the secret stash, you know, and my uncles would be mad because they're like, why did you eat up all the ginger cakes? How do you know it was us? But we knew where she kept the secret stash. We knew, because we lived 2 doors down. So, but one thing, my grandma was always known for singing. She would always sing, always working and always singing.
Oh, yes.
And so this is back in the day with the clothesline.
Oh,
So
yeah.
some of y'all might know what a clothesline is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Before the dryer, yeah, the clothespin. So my grandma just had an extensive network of lines
Yes.
and a whole lot of clothes. I must add too that my grandmother had 19 children.
Oh.
So she had she washed a lot of clothes in her time. Oh yeah. So
22. I don't know how.
yeah, and no twins. Yeah.
No, 27.
Right. Okay. Well, my grandma did that with no twins. But she always sang. So all the neighbors knew my grandma for singing, like the other neighbors on the other side. And I would always sit and listen to her sing. But it's one thing that I remember about her singing is just the power of the intonation of her song.
Yeah.
It was something in the music that just took you to another place. And it was entertaining, but it also was nurturing. And so that's something that always sticks with me, and me and my sister, we used to crack up this one song, and I was listening to it earlier this morning, and I said, I don't even know the rest of the song, because it was one line that my grandma used to sing this song, we would just crack up laughing. And I'll backtrack a little bit. I talk about my family history, and a lot of my family members started out in the Methodist churches, the African Union churches that Peter Spencer started, and then also the AME churches with Absalom Jones and Richard Allen. But my grandmother, my grandfather at an early point joined the Pentecostal church. So some of the early Pentecostal churches in New Jersey, my family was a part of. Ironic that the Pentecostal church started right here, pretty much in Skid Row. So that was interesting. Like, wait, it started here and ended up there?
Yeah.
So some of the songs she sang came from the Pentecostal church, and some I don't know where they came from. But this song that fire shut up in my bones, just like Jeremiah, won't leave me alone. She used to sing that song, and because it said shut up, and man, we was like, wow, grandma said shut up. And we would just crack up every time she sang that song. Shut up, she said shut up, did you hear it? So we never even heard the rest of the song. We were just cracking up, man. But that song is a deep song because it just talks about that feeling, the spirit inside of you. And when she was saying, it would keep her sustained. It was like nourishment. And so that for me was just powerful. So I got to honor, my grandmother and just how, for me, my connection to music has always been, that's the standard. Like, I have to feel it. I have to be able to say, okay, I feel that, okay. And if I didn't, I was like, yeah, I don't sound like my grandma. She said good, but man, we still got a little ways to go. You got to dig deeper. You got to dig deeper. Because that's when the old folks used to sing from the gut. They weren't saying all. Yeah, so that's what we talking about. So I see heads nod. Y'all already know where I'm going with that. So I'm going to skip the next few lines in my notes. And I'm getting about Felipe. I'm getting there. I just want to say that for me, I've just also, and this is going to be very abbreviated as well, I've understood the connection also of music to healing and to culture and to spirituality. So in many cultures, they don't really make a distinction between what is music and how music is performed and what context. Music is a part of everything you do. They got songs for everything. They got a song, you putting some honey on something, there's a song for that. You opening something up, there's a song for that. You planting seeds, there's a song for that. Everything has a song. When children are born, when people pass away, all the rites of passage, everything that you do in your life, there's something musical connected to that. And the music is connected to the prayers, to the invocations, to the well-wishing. And so I've seen that in my life, just people I've been able to connect with. The link to Byars Felipe is that, as I get into the slides right now, you'll see like his life, he's used music in a spiritual context. It has been able to sustain him, but his foundation is really ritual and ceremony and how invocation manifests in the world. And so that's really what I wanted to share about me. I've been blessed. Some of the folks in the room too introduced me to different types of music. Ade, that's up on the panel. I used to study capoeira with Ade. So that's another one of his hidden talents. And some other capoeiristas in the room too. Still incognito, but I give a shout out to them. And so I learned a few songs there that just really powerful. I might pull one out before we leave. Or maybe not. But I might. You know what I mean? You saying go ahead out there? Yeah. Go ahead or go ahead?
No, do your thing.
Okay, I'm gonna say one song. Just one. Okay. And it relates to everything, and it's gonna be a transition into the slides.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay. So one thing about capoeira Angola is the style that we study, and also Jason. Shout out to Jason. He's a capoeirista as well in the back, one of my comrades. But capoeira Angola, it connects to this concept of networks and how networks crosses the diaspora and what inspires black music, what inspires resistance, what inspires survival. So this song is a song that I really like, one of many that I learned that talks about remembering where you come from. Vou me embora, Angola, que aqui não fica nada, vamos volar já. Vamos embora, Angola. Birimbata me chama, vamos logo vaziar. Vamos embora, pra Angola. Birimbata me chama, vamos logo vaziar. Vamos embora, pra Angola. Now, as you start playing, it's gonna go long. It's gonna go long. Then I'll be like, then I start switching up. You know, I got songs. But that song says is that when I'm doing this art, when I'm singing, when I'm playing, when I hear the berimbau, it's one of the instruments in Capoeira, I'm going back home, back to Angola. So that song is like, I gotta go home, I can't stay here. You know, I need to get back as soon as I can. Like that song is talking about how when we're doing this art, we go back to Angola.
Come on, there you
And
go.
so some of the songs in Capoeira are really powerful because they call the holder. The holder is a sacred space where the people, where they, I want to say play. Capoeira, it's not really a play, but where they perform, where they interact. And that space really is a powerful space. And so that's kind of this conversation is linking, like these networks extend beyond time, beyond space, but the impact on you you can only feel it. You can't describe what it feels like when you're there. But we're gonna try it today because that's some of the questions I'm gonna ask my panelists. Lights! Okay, so thank you. I'm gonna run through this. I was gonna read quotes from this book, but I changed my mind, so I'm gonna just go off the dome and the pictures are gonna cue my conversation here. But hey, which one is that book?
Nice book.
Yeah, so this is a book about Felipe. It's called Drumming for the Gods, The Life and Times of Felipe Garcia Villamil. And I guess I will read one section real quick, because in the very beginning, he talks about who he is, and then we'll go to the next slide in a second. So he says, I am Felipe Garcia Villamil, Balogun, Oluanya, Omoanya, Olu Iesa, Tata Nganga, Amasa Nkiti, Rompe Monte, Kinumba, Maria Munda, of the line Yoclava, Lotaka, Arube, Isunekwe of the Potencia Efik, Kunambere of Matanzas, Pompote, Mirosiro, Akana Bion. And my title in Abakwa is Isunekwe, Bihuraka, Mundi, Isunekwe Atara, Yira Atara Kondo, Isunekwe Baibo, Eyene Baibo. I am the son of Tomasa Villamil Cardenas and Benino Garcia Garcia, the grandson of Tomasa Cardenas and Enobla Cardenas. The daughter of Enobla Cardenas. And Juan Villamil, and the grandson of Aniceto Garcia Gomez and Carlotta Garcia. So for him in his intro, he's like, I gotta tell you who my people are. Before I tell you who I am, let me tell you who my people are, because my people make me who I am. And so that's an intro by Felipe. He disputes this, but it's claimed he was born in 1931. But we did a presentation the other day, and I was like, yeah, Bob Felipe, can you believe he's still singing and dancing and moving around and has a phenomenal memory, and he's about to turn 92. He's like, nah, put 2 more years on that. Yeah, he was like, you're close, but put 2 more years on it. So he met my parents, and every time I talk to them, they always ask, how's Felipe doing? How's he doing? Tell him we said hi, because he's an inspiration to them. Because he's going in his 90s, and they like, if he can keep going strong in his 90s, everybody can.
That's right.
So he's an inspiration to us. You can hit the next slide. And so that is his great-grandfather. So that's Bob Felipe's great-grandfather, Nobla Cardenas. He is from Matanzas, Cuba. He was a well-known Orisha priest of the Yoruba tradition, also a Babala. He was a priest of Obatala.
Yeah,
And he also helped to bring the drumming tradition to Matanzas in Cuba. And so his great-grandfather taught drumming. So this shows you like it was something passed down in the family line. And he says in the old days, you couldn't go to a class to learn drumming. If you were a drummer, the only way you learned drumming was from another drummer. So there was a society of drummers, and we've been blessed, me and some of my friends that are here today, we're part of the society of drummers that Bob Felipe introduced us to, that he was introduced to, that was literally passed down from ancestors that came from Nigeria.
From Oyo.
From Oyo. And so, and they're knowledgeable of the specific regions that they come from. And so he explains how in Cuba now it's been made popular because of the folklore was transformed into something else, but during his time it was persecuted. You couldn't practice, you couldn't be an African drummer, you couldn't have ceremonies and drum and sing. All the stuff that we cherish was forbidden, it was against the law. And then the government later found a way to teach it at the universities and have tourists come and dance and sing the sacred songs of the Orisha, but that's a new phenomenon. And so just starting out by showing some of the images of his people. You can, oh, there you go. Yeah, next. You know, it's funny, I was looking for you way over there, and I was like, let's go. And I forgot the slides over here. So that's by Felipe, the bottom left photo, the bottom right photo, one of his cousins. Right above him, the left photo, the lady on the left, that's his mother. So that's Tomasa Cardenas, and she was a priestess of Oya in the Yoruba tradition. So I want to talk a little bit about Oya and Oya's significance in Bible's life. But the photo at the top, the other lady is, I think, one of his aunts, and then the gentleman on the top is his grandfather. That's Juan being yeah, so that's his grandfather. You can go to the next slide. That's his mother, and their collective, they had what's called Cabildo. Cabildo is like a spiritual grouping, but it also was a way to divvy up responsibilities. He talks about how the drummers at that time, they would charge for drumming, but they would use all the money to support the collective. So if anybody had a religious ceremony they had to do and they didn't have money, they would just go into a pool. They had a pool, and so there weren't fees, but everybody, the collective work that they did, they would share a pool of money so that they could make sure they had their festivals and ceremonies. So part of the festivals in the Yoruba culture is inviting the community and feeding them. That's a key part of worship, is feeding the people around you. So that's just the picture of his mother. You can go to the next one. And another photo of her. You can keep going. That is about Fashina Falade. So Fashina Falade is who introduced us to, we really learned about Bob Felipe through a space that he created. And I put his photo here because he had a Yoruba temple in the Merck Park, that Ijo Rumana, where they were teaching about traditional Yoruba spirituality and philosophy and culture. And through that connection in Lamert Park, we were able to meet a lot of the keepers of Yoruba culture and heritage. And so Bob Felipe was doing a drum class at that space, and that's where we first met him. But I have to give respect to Bob Fashina because he was one that stressed upon us the importance of reorienting ourselves. That knowing like the stuff that you think you know is not healthy. That you need to find out what your ancestors believed in. That you need to know it. If you love it or if you don't love it, you need to know about it. But it's yours. And so that's important that he stressed upon us is this identity, who we are as a people. So shout out to him. He's a drummer too. That's how he got involved in the culture, drumming and hearing the music. And he's like, where's this stuff coming from? It's like, well, it's levels to this. Next slide, please. So this is Bob Felipe. That's him playing that center drum is called the Iya, and the Bata set of drums is 3 drums. And the main drum is called Iya, which means mother. So the drums for Bob Felipe, they also, there's a deep spirituality, but it's also a gendered spirituality, where for him, the sacred spirit of the drum is feminine. It's a female deity. It's a female spirit. And so for that reason, there are prohibitions of women playing the drums for this concept of like energies and opposing energies and balance. Like it's like a deep philosophy behind it, but it's a prohibition that the spirit of that drum doesn't want other women around it. And so it's cared for by men. But there's a lot of rules and regulations. Like to play those drums, you have to go through a ceremony and it's initiation and before you play the drums. He talks about one of his mentors that taught him the secret to the drum. When he tells the story, it reminds me of my relationship to Bob Felipe because we spent a lot of time with him and I would just sit underneath him and listen to him talk. And at one point he just let me hit record and I, like I said, recorded a lot of stuff, but he respected the fact that we were consistent, that we just kept showing up. We used to go to his house every Friday and then he started cooking for us. He's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have fish, you know, we're gonna have some beans and rice, we're gonna have, this like, we'll be there. So we had drum class, we were learning from him, but what he was doing that I found out later was just recreating the community that he had in Cuba. So this whole brotherhood that he had in Cuba, everywhere he's gone, he's recreated that. He's had like extended family. And he has a lot of children, a lot of grandchildren. I'm not gonna say he needs more, but it's never too many for him, just having people around him and people that he can teach because there were people who taught him. And so he tells the story of one of his elders, Tano Bleke. He started going to his house, and he said the people told him, "Don't go to that man's house. He's a wizard. You know, he's a sorcerer. Don't go there. It's dangerous. You know, he might eat you." And so you know how when you're young, you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna see what the big deal is." So he went over there, and he was like, and the elder had him, you know, running there. Hey, can you go to the store, give me something? Okay, come. Okay, yeah. So then after a while, he just started telling them stories. But the man knew his great grandfather. And he said, and after a while, he started telling them stories about his great grandfather. So it drew him in. He's like, "Wow, you knew my great grandfather?" He's like, "Oh yeah." And he said his great grandfather used to teach people drumming with his feet. Like he would do the pattern with his feet, and if you messed up, he would hit you. And they said he had a whip too. They said like he would just be like, "Wow, run!" So they said it was tough studying with him, but he was an excellent teacher. So, so he learned a lot about his great grandfather by spending the time to sit down with this old man that other people were ignoring. And after a while, he kept coming, and he said, "I'm gonna teach you drumming. I'm gonna teach you the secret to the drum. I'm gonna give you my drums." Like it was stuff that priceless. I'm gonna show you how to make drums. And so he learned all of that by just showing up. And so for him, it's like, since I got it, I'm gonna share it with the people that show up. If you keep showing up, I got something for you. But one story he tells you too about studying with him, that he used to make this, in the Yoruba they call omiero, which is it's a herbal concoction, has a bunch of plants and secret ingredients in it, but it makes a sacred substance that's used to cleanse and to purify. And normally people will renew it periodically because it starts smelling after a while. But he said he had an old bucket and he said it would just smell terrible. And he's like, "If you want to touch these drums, you got to wash your hands because I don't know where you've been." Yeah, it smelled, but it was pure. It will purify you. And so if you were out running the streets doing craziness, acting like a fool, he's like, "You're not gonna touch my drums until you wash your hands." And so that's a tradition he learned, and he's very respectful about drums, and he talks about how people handle drums and what they do before they, particularly in a sacred context. There are a lot of taboos about how you relate to your instruments. Yeah. And I want to highlight one thing, then we can do next slide. On that banner right there, that is the drum that he inherited, which his great grandfather helped to create. Was originally formed in, it has a date on there, December 29th, 1907. So that was the birth date of the drum. And he inherited, so I just want to highlight that because it's one of the oldest drums in this country and one of the oldest drums in Cuba as well. And so, and the last thing on this slide, that in the drums that he's playing, you see that the beadwork, all of that is glass beadwork that he did, like hand sewn. And the sacred drums, they always cover them with covers like that. But the sacred drums in this country are pretty new. They said not until the 1980s that there weren't consecrated drums in this country. And they said in the 80s there were, I think there were like only like 4 people in New York that people know that had these drums.
You saying in the Yoruba tradition?
In the Yoruba tradition, yeah. But here in the United States. So the Yoruba tradition as it comes out of Cuba, I would have to be specific. Because the Yoruba tradition also is in Brazil, it's in Trinidad, it's in other places.
But actually,
and straight from Nigeria.
They're a group of, those are the, I'm sorry. It's the oldest consecrated drum, one of the oldest consecrated drums in the United States. The oldest Anya drum or Bata drum is in East St. Louis, Illinois, and came with Julito Collazo.
Right.
But Felipe brought these drums, and it's one of the oldest drums, not just in the United States, but in the Western Hemisphere.
Okay,
so
that's
it needs
good
to be
to
really
know.
clarified.
That's even more powerful. One of the oldest sets of drums consecrated in the Western Hemisphere. So all that to say is a lot of history, not only here, but also in Cuba, because his family came from Cuba, but they originated in other places. So he's real clear about that too. He's like, you know, I'm Cuban, but I'm black, and I'm African, and I'm Congo, and I'm Yoruba, I'm all of that. Next slide, please. That's his wife, Ia Valeria. So she, I wanted to just talk about Oya. I don't have a whole lot of time, but Oya his wife was also a priestess of Oya. So Bob Felipe's mother was a priestess of Oya, and Oya is a Yoruba deity in his life that has always been very prominent. Oya is really, some people say it's the ruler of the cemetery, but Oya represents transformation, represents the winds. Oya is also a river deity, but Oya is a very strong deity. They say that Oya is so powerful that Shango, who is the deity of thunder and lightning, people fear Shango when they see lightning and they hear thunder, but they say that Shango's powerful, but Shango is just the husband of Oya. And so that's one of the nicknames for Shango, Okoya, the husband of Oya, because she's more powerful than him. And there's stories about whenever there's drama, it's like his wife would handle it. She's like, no, I'll take care of this. And they say, you know, Shango would make a lot of noise and kill one person with lightning, and then Oya would bring the tornado and wipe out the whole village. Yeah, you made all that noise to take out one person? Come on, man. So that's Oya. But his mother's Oya inspired him to drum, and he would he would drum for his mother. So his mother, whenever she would go in a trance, the spirit of Oya would enter into her, and he would play for Oya. The deity would manifest, and he would play. So that relationship between him and Oya has always been strong, and his wife also, rest in peace, was a representative of that energy. Next slide. So I gotta honor her. Just picture him and his sons, some of his sons, Altievi and Miguel. He got a bunch of children, but just showing how he comes from a family of drummers, and he's been committed to making sure that the traditions live on. So you also see those are Bata drums with the beads. You keep going. Him and the drummer in the middle, that's Lázaro Galarragas. He's another really well-known Afro-Cuban performer, drummer, priest in the tradition, and him and Bob Felipe are good friends. Next slide. So that's I don't know how old my day got in this photo.
I got a solo. That's
That's right.
Where was that?
That was you organized that event. Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah. So Scotty helped to organize that event. What is it?
It was at the Museum of Latin American Art.
Museum of Latin American Art. So I put this slide on there because us being affiliated with Bob Felipe has taken us a lot of places. We've done public performances, and we've gone to universities, and we've done not just played in a religious, spiritual setting, but also in the public setting. And so that's me laughing at on my day. It's like, oh, so you the musical director now? That's the conversation we're having. And Bob Felipe is singing lead, and he's waiting for us to come in on the chorus. And I'm like, oh my day, what are you doing? Yeah. I told y'all it's gonna be a lot of laughter. Next slide, please. Next, don't be distracted by that stuff. So this is just another photo. That's another one of my good friends that's here today, Luis Ifasui. And Jamael, that's another one of Bob Felipe's sons. And you see I'm just kind of supervising the rhythms to make sure everything is on point. If something is a little bit off, he'll let you know. All right. That's another style of drums that we play. It's called Iesa. Those are like double-headed, they're round drums. So he also has one of the only sets of Iesa drums in the United States. I think there's only like 2 or 3 sets. So just really a pioneer in drumming and a culture bearer and keeper. Next slide. We're not gonna get distracted on who was in the photo. Oh my goodness, photo. This is one of the bridges going into Matanzas, La Marina. That's where Bob Felipe's family is from. So this is a photo I took. So I was fortunate to make a pilgrimage to his homeland. Wow. And he always tells a story about, oh yeah, this guy right here, he went to my homeland. He's been there. And so this funny story, when I went, I just asked people like, you know where this place is? It's like, oh yeah, everybody knows where that place is. Yeah, so I just asked around, and the crazy thing was I didn't tell him I was going, and I got the address from some scholarly article about this sacred drumming tradition in Matanzas, and it was like, yes, the sacred temple, it still exists. It is located at, and they had the address. I was like, oh, I'm gonna show up. So I did that. Now, the thing that got me was they changed the names of all the streets. And so I tried to be, incognito, because this is Cuba, and I'm not supposed to be where I'm at. I'm just looking for this place. So I was low key. It's like, hey, do you know where Salamanca is? And then people were like, oh yeah, go 5 blocks this way, make a left, make a right, and it'll be there. I said, okay, thank you. Whew. So you can keep going. So this is just my walk. This is the neighborhood. That's La Marina. That's the block that his sister lived there, and on one of his nieces, Clara. But they, the old shrines and the old, some of the old drums and things that like his mother once had, they still are the keepers of those what I want to say, sacred items. Yeah, and so I was able to go and just knock on their door. Yeah, I know you're probably thinking, how are you just gonna show up at somebody's house and not let them know you're coming? Yeah, next slide, please. But they were happy to see me, and they took time to show me around. So that house right in the middle, that's where his mother used to live. So when I was there, no one was living there at the time, but it was just an honor for me to go. And I heard so many stories. Next slide, I just wanted to be there. And so that is an image of Santa Teresa, which is in the diaspora. There was this custom of using the Catholic saints to mask the African practices. Yeah. And so on the surface, they would have these festivals for Santa Teresa, but really Santa Teresa represented Oya. Mm-hmm. And so the church would let them do their thing and bring the drums out and go through the streets, and then they listen a little closer, and it's like, who's Oya? What is this song you are singing? And so that is the saint of their cabildo. And they still go out and they have a festival where they have a procession with the image of the saint, and they have people drumming.
And they go through the church, through the front door with the drum, and come out the back. They go in singing songs for the saint and come out the back singing for Yah.
So that, that's
but
just
playing bata the whole time.
Yeah, playing the Yoruba drums. So you can go next slide. And so that's just a picture of Bob on one of the drums and some of his bead work. You can just see the intricacy of it. So he's also well known for his bead work as well. Next slide. I'm not gonna talk everything about it. I just said buy the book. Next time we do a Black History Month event, come, because he comes every year. He loves coming and playing. And I think this might be the last slide. It just has, if you see his face, just the joy that he has from playing and singing, and it's infectious. And every time he drums, he gets younger, and it's a mystery for us, because we try to keep up with him, and this man is about to turn 92, and we're like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's about to turn 95, thank you, E.S. Scotty. Because that's what Bob would say if he was here. I'm about to turn 95, okay.
Why don't you go this way,
Uh-huh.
then go that way, then go this way, then go that way is much more interesting. Like bum, 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 instead
Okay.
of.
Okay,
I
yeah.
like that. I like that. Teamwork. I have to give a shout out to, that was my lovely wife right now.
Yeah.
Shout out to my lovely wife back there. Keeping me on track. She's like, remember, stick to the script. That's good. My better half right there. I'm gonna pass the mic to my man Ray here. So what I'm gonna do, everybody here, I didn't ask for their bio, but they have extensive bios. So I'm gonna let them tell us who they are. So the first question, I got like 5 questions here. First question is, tell us who you are, your name, where you're from, and how you became a musician.
Who I am. I'm a divine being, unfolding, still learning who I am. Right now, I'm present with you guys, and I didn't say this before I even go any further, Charles. I'm listening to you give all this history, and I'm really resonating with what you were saying. You speaking about a culture that exists way back, that been handed down from person to person, and I'm listening to you. But I knew of this like intuitively. Like no one told me nothing. I just knew this. Cause like when you were speaking about the sacredness of the drum, I'm going ahead because it's going to answer a question, a future question. But the drum to me came to me at a very low point of my life. I was homeless. I was in drugs. I was doing all kind of wild stuff, and I was just walking the beach in Venice Beach, and a guy was playing a djembe, and I liked it the sound because it was something new, never heard it before. So I sit down and I listen to it, and from then I've been playing the drum. And this guy who first showed me this drum was a king not in Ethiopia, in Ghana. His name was Esau. And if anybody ever been to Venice Beach back in the days,
Yes.
Esau was the guy that had the big incense stand. He used to be down there by Abraham across from the Titanic. That's the area where I started drumming at. That's where I started drumming at. It was very deep and spiritual there, you know. So that's how the drumming came into me. So who I am, I'm a divine being unfolded. My name is Raymond H. Lewis. And how music got into me, I just kind of told you that. And how it, I'm gonna say this, changed my life. When the drum came into my life, I was in a certain state, right? And I was learning. And as I was learning, I was developing myself, finding out doors was opening up inside me through a rhythm I learned from one of my teachers. I had several drum teachers, and each one showed me a different rhythm that I made it be me, you know, because like you were saying, they didn't teach you, they didn't let you drum, they didn't let you touch on the drum, but you learned on your legs. But I kind of learned on the drum from a teacher, so I digested it. Then next thing you know it, I met Charles, I met beautiful, wonderful people in this journey of cleaning myself. And I want to say this, before I was out there doing any of this stuff, I was still in my addiction. So I gotta say this, I made advance in my addictions, and I made advancements out of my addictions. So, you know, it really kind of let me know that divine and spirituality is what it is, because there was a point in time that I was a drug addict and I'm having profound visions and insight that was telling me things about myself, the universe, and people around me. I couldn't understand, so I thought I was crazy. And then I come into this conscious community that was in Los Angeles and New York when I started traveling the world, and that I found out that everything in school, what they told us about reality, was a lie. So I had to deprogram myself. This is when Siddiqui Bakari came into my life. I love myself more. I fill myself with affirmations, and I resonated that what I put inside myself. You know. And what was the next question? That's it.
Tell us who you are.
Yeah. Hey, my name's Jamael Dean. I play piano. Obviously, I'm sitting in front of the piano. But yeah, who am I? I guess I'm the youngest out of like 10 kids. I started playing piano because all my other siblings were doing sports and stuff, and my dad was out there coaching them, yelling at them. So I was like, I'm gonna do music. Like, I'm not trying to do that. And plus, like, I think what got me started was like in school, they gave us recorders, and then I was just really into that. And then from then, I got video games taken away because I was obsessed. And then I was like, can I get a keyboard for Christmas? So they gave me like a little CD that taught me how to like read music and all that stuff. I played violin too. And mostly like my inspiration for going with it for is my grandfather, because he plays drums too. Like, he's a jazz drummer. He did a lot. And man, going to see him play like with his friends, that was my favorite part, because he would just have a good time. He'd be out there joking, laughing and stuff, and then like I get to come up in the gig, play a little furry lease and get some desserts and stuff. I just liked it because it was cool. Yeah, it was just like, it was really social and like a good time. So that was my favorite part about music. And plus seeing them like, especially sometimes like it would be a good conversation they'd be having. Sometimes it'd be like, you know, other ways. And then they get up and play all that energy on stage, and then you see them work it out and then come out just laughing, joking even more. I'm like, dang, that was crazy. Like how it transformed like that just through, you know, what they love. But that was that. And then also my dad used to tell me, like, when I didn't want to practice and stuff, like, if you find something you love that you do, then you're not really working. He's like, I have to do construction every day, and this has a toll on my body, so like try to figure out something for you that would like be good for you. So that was the reason why music has been there in my life for so long. And I think that's all I really have to say.
Hey, my name is Rickie Byars. I feel like standing up. We've been sitting down a long time making jobs. I have to shout out to your beautiful wife, you know, because I was like, y'all want to move to the front? I didn't know who I was talking about. I know I was talking to the queen goddess in the house. You know, it's so beautiful to feel your relationship with her and how you guys respect and love each other. It's a beautiful thing. You know, so my name is Rickie, and I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I was raised between Charlotte, North Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. My mother's family was very interesting. I'm from a very interesting family. And my real father's family was interesting too. The history that my story is really, doesn't sound very historical, but yet it is. It's like, my story comes from the radio. My story comes from the church, you know, from the black church. And then my story came from the Catholic church. So, and the Gregorian chant, but coming through black nuns. So I had a real good incarnation, you know, a real good incarnation where I could get incredible rhythms from the black church, and then incredible Gregorian chant from the Catholic church, but coming through African American nuns. And it was a weird kind of incarnation. I could always do music, so I was born with that, and I could always pick out melodies. I'm self-taught, and my children are self-taught. I think that's pretty much all I got to say. What we supposed to, who we are, where we come from?
Hi, I'm Sharda Shashadar. I am, I forgot the question already.
Where you from?
was born in Virginia. I grew up in New York, and I am a recent resident of Los Angeles. And I was born into music. My family is very musical, and it didn't really feel like a choice, really. It was just a natural, like, I mean, I was 2 when I started singing, and I had a similar experience where I just like naturally sang melodies, and my dad was like, she's really good, let me teach her. And my dad was my teacher my whole life, and it reminded me of what you were saying with Baba Felipe's great-grandfather. Very strict, very traditional, very strict, like there's right, there's wrong, formal a little bit. So I have that in me, and I also have a genuine love for music, and it's just a natural part of what I do.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you.
Hey now, everybody, y'all feel all right? Well, I think the first thing I say, my name is Georgia, and I'm happy, and I'm joyful. And I'm so happy because I'm a child of God.
Amen.
And, I think it's by the grace of that being true and I get a chance to see you guys another day, and also that I get a mama like this one right now. She hit a black nun, so I don't have to do that.
That's right.
But
What did you say? She didn't have to deal with the black
no, I said you got the black nuts, so I don't have to do that.
I got the black nuts? Nuns.
She don't ever hear. Everyone else hears. She don't hear. But it's all right. Because the grace is wide enough for everyone. The Holy Spirit is moving. Hallelujah. So music, my whole life is because of a miracle.
Okay.
And when I was 3 years old, I got sung back into my body by God's grace. And there's a song that my mom wrote with this brother named Isaiah. And it was called God is Alive and Well. And it goes, God is alive and well, living in the USA. He's alive and well, living in China too.
Oh.
I thought that everybody knew that, all this kind of thing. And he lives in me, right? And I remember I was so mad, I just wanted to go see the Father again, so I walked out my body. I really stormed out, because I was like, I don't like my Father, I like the Heavenly Father, and I'm gone. Peace, kind of like that. And I remember watching Sesame Street outside my body in the hospital and looking at the TV screen like, but they all down there. I love them. But yeah, this show funny. Like, I'd be like, I'd still just be thinking about, I'd be like, God, you're going to have to say something. And Mom would come sing, God is alive and well to me. And that's when I looked. And I remember, next thing I know, there's like a vamp at the end that goes, it is his power, right? And there was one day, I think it was, what was that, the 6th week? It is his, and I came back singing about God's power.
Yeah.
That's how I came back.
Yeah.
Amen. Right.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So power, and so I've been given the grace to be here to sing of God's power.
Hallelujah.
That's my life.
All right.
And that's about it.
That's about it.
What I'm supposed to say after that?
You're supposed to be You love him out there. What you talking about?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Can't act bad no more. It's your turn.
Hi, my name is Day. I am Yeah. Omuade. My introduction to music. I was born and raised in Haiti in Haiti. And so I always heard music around. My father plays sports, but all his brothers were musicians. So they were always playing music. And interesting thing about music, right? The first song that I actually really remember that's like embedded in my head is a Miriam Makeba song. Pata Pata, right? Yeah, so I remember hearing that in Haiti, right? And coming to the States, hearing that, and remembering how I felt being transported back to Haiti every time that song came on, right? And then there was another song, I Gotcha, by, what's his name? Joe Tech. So I have a younger sister, right? And she loved that song when she was a baby. And when I came from Haiti, we didn't speak any English, right? But so she used to sing the song, and every time it came on, so that's another song that resonates, that sticks in my head, right? So music has always like been with me, and it's all kinds of different types of music, right? So when I came to the States, my uncle he was in a band in Haiti playing Haitian music, right? We come here to the States in Boston, and he's playing like funk and R&B. Oh, yeah. So he's practicing in the basement, so I'm growing up with that. And then I have another uncle that loves jazz, so I heard that a lot. My father loves salsa music, so I heard that a lot growing up. In fact, in his car, growing up, it was always on a Spanish station, and we were forbidden to change it.
Yes.
So like, I grew up hearing salsa music and merengue and all that stuff, right? So I don't know why I'm on this panel really, because I'm not a musician per se. I don't.
Those two that we see the evidence.
Oh, yeah. So I'm the musical director for the band. But yeah, so that's the limit. I play percussion instruments, right? So like I play the berimbau, for capoeira, so all the instruments for that, and drums learning with Baba Felipe. But I feel like my real musical instrument though are the turntables.
All right.
Right. So I have the digital versions of the turntables here today. But I love to play music, and I love to play music from all around the world. Anything that sounds good to me, that feels good, I like to play, right? And I like to see how it makes people react. Earlier when I was playing a couple of the songs, I just saw how it resonated with folks, and how some people were singing the song, and people that didn't know it were still like moving to it, So yeah, that's the love and that's the joy. I get a joy out of that.
I'm gonna have you keep the mic. We're gonna go in reverse. Yeah, so you be first for the next question. Nice and flow. I'm gonna jump around a little bit because I realize if we ask 5 questions, we'll be here way longer than we need to.
Especially with the
questions.
I'm gonna be green.
We're gonna get into the meat though right there. Yes, music. Come on. So I'm gonna ask y'all 2 more questions. Okay, hold your key there. Y'all can hear me, right? Y'all can hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear.
So the next question is, what are your thoughts of music as medicine? Yes. How does it heal yourself? How does it uplift those who hear it? How can it protect people? So just your view of music as medicine. You don't got to answer every single question, but
No, definitely music is medicine, right? I can actually remember a time where I was going through depression. Yes. And nobody told me I was going through depression, right? I just assessed myself as going through depression. And the reason I realized it was depression is because I didn't have music playing around me all the time.
All right.
Yes.
Right? And I realized, look, I'm not waking up to music. I'm not having music in the shower. I'm not going to sleep with music. Yo, I think something's wrong with you, bro. for real, and I was like, okay, the way I'm gonna fix that is I'm gonna wake up to music, I'm gonna go to sleep to music, and I'm gonna have music all around me, right? And so every minute, every chance I get, I'm listening to music, and it really helped me get through what I was going through, right? So for me, I think that's just general, that music, there's no question about it. For me, it's like, it's medicine. And for sure, there's like music that's out there that's not really speaking to that vibration, but I think there's a place for that as well. I think, but for sure though, for the majority of it, I think it's like, it's definitely medicine, and the vibration of it speaks to that.
Hi. Oh wow. There's so much. I think that, growing up in church, you know what I'm saying? My mom's a choir director, she's been a choir director, music director, all that kind of stuff. I be in church every day, and I'm just passing out like I'm hungry. I didn't know I'm praying and fasting inadvertent. But it was really good.
Yeah.
To be in a place where it's like you're around, like the music's function is for healing. And I remember always, because of how I was able to not need a wheelchair and not be completely blind, not be a quadriplegic from picking up from the story, right? I'm literally just here, and my mom taking me to the dance collective for physical therapy, and so all these rhythms, while I'm just coming back into, like, really rebirthing back into the world, it's all these rhythms and all of this. And I think ever since coming back, there was something where it's like everything sound like a song, because from being blind, and when your eyes, when you can see again, it's music. And that kind of never left. So it's like the music of light. And then it's like, in a very popular creation story, in the beginning, God said, let there be light. And I believe that light is the tone that everything's dancing to, I believe that it is a song. And so it's like, all of it is a reflection of, it has something to do with God's light, because without that grace and mercy, we can't have nothing. Even it's something to be upset about, yeah? Right. So, I think, in growing up, I should wrap it up now. So, in growing up, I remember my mom, when my mom decided to be happy and leave my dad.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I mean, I was trying to, I was up I told you how it went. He didn't let me touch the radio either. Okay, let me stop. I love Papa. Because he the one that taught me how to play drums and stuff, Yeah. But as far as music as healing is what I'm talking about. That's what I get from here. I get that from here. And so I remember once she became a part of a spiritual community, the kind of mail that would come to the house, where people say, I would listen to the CD and it'd be more than one mail, more than 5 pieces. It'd be like, upwards of 10 pieces of mail, maybe every 2 months or something like this at first, where people, my cancer went in remission. I play this in the hospital room and I don't have cancer no more. This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is what my mama. Yeah. This is the kind of person I come from. Yeah. Yeah. So it was never no doubt that music is. That's what we do with it. Yeah. And so that just growing up in that, and I remember sometimes when I became like a teenager, my mom would. Sometimes she would be concerned about, more things that are about like, you know, worldly success and stuff like that. And I remember it being so clear to me that I'm like, you're healing people, like, this is the real deal. It's like, you talking about synthetic lights to make somebody look good, you talking about cosmic light. It's like, that look, that you already looking good. You got that cosmic spotlight on you, child. You healing people. That's a spotlight. You got utility. So it helped me understand my context for when I play what I'm doing, you know. And so I've gone a little bit more on the avant-garde side because I want to get to the thing. Yeah, I don't know, but you know, I feel that having a musical heart, what it's helped me to do is to discover layers of grace. Like infinite layers. So like when I was in a deep depression, the only thing that broke it, right, was I was outside and I was in New York and it was like that 9/11, it was crazy, right? And I heard the trains and the buses and everything turned to a symphony.
Yeah.
That's all.
I get too happy. Praise God. I'm
I feel
sorry.
like how you feel. How do I respond to that?
No, you're awesome. You know how to do it right.
I can share in my personal experience, like I've witnessed music be medicine and I've also felt music be medicine.
Yeah.
Like my grandpa, for example, was not in a, you know, he was kind of in his last days and like not super responsive mentally. But he loved music and he didn't know who we were, but we put on like tapes for him and he'd be like alive again. He would be like, oh, I'm here.
Yes.
It could even be something as simple as like, you're having a bad day and you put on a song and it like completely changes the trajectory of your day. Like it can move you, it can move energy, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's incredibly healing.
What kind of music do you make?
I grew up singing Indian music, traditional Indian music. So,
Which area of India?
South India. I'm sorry, I guess I wasn't thorough.
She gonna sing, she gonna sing. We got time. We got time.
Answer your question.
She said, what she say, you gonna know where she.
But it's transformed my feelings, like given me life, given me purpose, and that's healing to me. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I can't talk too much because I'm still crying from listening to Georgia. The first time, you know, because it just touched me because she was telling the truth. And I remember what she went through, and I remember the power of music and the part it played. So as a composer for a long time, just, you know, what can you say? You know, music is a healer, and love is a healer, and music about love, and music that's written from love, has a very powerful medicine.
Yes.
And once I got that part together, my life changed.
Yeah.
You know, because I thought I was just a singer looking for a record deal, looking for a certain type of, hey, you doing my brother back there on the guitar. Hey! You know, but I just thought, I had a terrible orientation into the arts in terms of the world. From the village, that was a great orientation.
Yeah.
You know, but the world would say, you're supposed to do this to make money, you can make money, you can be famous, you can do this and that. And my journey was never supposed to be that. And once when I was lamenting about it, my little 14-year-old daughter just sat down, she was like, and I was crying because somebody had called and left a message for me that their record was on the radio. And she was so happy about it. And she was thanking me for this and thanking me for that. And I just was like, how did that happen? Yeah, because I had a little record, couldn't get people knew about my music, but they didn't know about it like they knew about this person. And I'm thinking like, why do some people get to go and others don't get to go? That was bothering me. And I sat down and I just kind of let it go and cried, And my mom was in town at that time. And may she rest in peace, but she was sitting beside, I had my mom on one side and my daughter on the other side. And I'm in the middle and they just want to know what's wrong. And I'm just, because I haven't gotten to the place of acceptance of the real gift that I had, And then I said what happened, And Georgia, without missing a beat, she just rubbed my back, because this is who she is. She's like, yeah, Mom. One day you're gonna realize that you came here to heal people. That your music came to heal people. And she said, and it's gonna be all right with you. That's gonna be all right. And it is all right. It is all right. It is all right. And through the pandemic, we played and sang.
Yes.
When they said don't meet, don't do nothing, isolate, we didn't isolate. I brought a band together. We had the devotional every Sunday, and we kept it going too. And none of us got sick, and we all sang. It was powerful. So the music is powerful. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Now, where do I know you from? You're so familiar.
Great name too. He's
everywhere.
Music and medicine. The first time I realized that music is medicine was like more so when I would see the connections that it would bring people really closely. Like even before I was born, my father, his mother put him up for adoption and didn't tell my grandfather at all. And so he grew up without a dad like his entire life. And when I was born, he was able to reconnect with him. But the way he was able to do it was he was just in LA. He knew his dad was around here. He couldn't get any information from his mom like that. So he would go out to jazz gigs and be like, hey, do you know this drummer? And then he met one of his best friends. And then he's like, yeah, I know Donald. You his son? Like, all right, come on. He called him up. They introduced, met that night. And now because of that, like, I'm so close with my grandpa. Like, I could not imagine my life without him. To be honest, I just hung out with him. So, like, music has always been that, like, even before I was born. So when it's time for me to do music, like, I just hope that I have that same effect, like, regardless of whatever the message is, because music can be cold too. You could get a lot through, and whatever you're going through, like, it'll help somebody figure out a better way. But more so than that, like, was the connection, because you have to be in connection with that person to receive any message they're trying to give to you. So that was the first and the biggest impact of music being medicine on me.
Music is medicine. Yes, music indeed is medicine. From the beginning, I would like to say, sound and intention plus focus create musical medicine. Because you wouldn't have no music if you didn't have no intention or no sound. So I just want to go back to experience yesterday. that certified that music is medicine. Yesterday I came in from San Diego, and first place I stopped was where I had to go get healed. I had to go get some medicine. First place I stopped, got me something to eat. Then I went to Leimert Park, because mostly on Fridays, most of my friends, drummers, were drumming out there. So we went out there and we was drumming. We did all the thing, and we started seeing some of the rosters come up. Yeah, it was coming holler at us, right? We see a couple of them, then they walked across the street. So we still playing. Then next thing you know, nah, bingy. They came in, chanted Na Bingi for 3 hours. Check this out. Yeah, we was across the street drumming first, and then we heard the doom doom. We stopped. Next thing you know it, all the drummers and almost the people who was out there in the Merc Park went there.
Praise God.
That vibration and them chanting this Na Bingi all the way to the morning, that really changed. It was, everyone was healed. I felt good. Everybody was smiling and moving. It was great. So yes, music is medicine, especially when you use it for that. And also, it can hurt you. You know, it depends on the tone and frequency that you use and the intention that you have with the music. That's what it is. They say guns don't kill people, people kill people. Yeah, but same thing with music. It's your intention and what you put into it, you know. So yeah, music is medicine, and the best medicine is cosmic medicine. And when you playing with when you living from your heart, listening to the universal rhythm or the universal orchestra, you live in that, and you walk in healing.
That's it.
All right, this is the speed round. Now this is the last question. Last question I'm gonna ask y'all. This is a quick question. I know it was a deep question, but I just want you to talk about how you know when you're in the zone, when you're in that space where things is happening and you're like, wow, how did I get here? Like you either connected with the people around you or you connected with something higher. How do you? I just want. I've experienced this and other artists. I just want you to explain what that feels like for you, or how you know when you're in that space.
Wow, yeah, okay. There's two scenarios. I'm glad you asked that. There's two scenarios that I notice about myself when I know I'm zoning. Zoning is when basically sometimes when I'm freestyling. When I'm freestyling with somebody who, you know, it's not traditional music, it may be a hip hop beat. It's a freestyle, you know, and that way I'm creating spontaneously and I'm speaking the sound that I want to make with my mouth. If anybody know me and watch me drum, you may see me. I'm saying something and I'm translating through my hands. When that get to happening, that's when I'm zoning, because I'm how would I say? I'm living off the cuff. You know, I'm listening to what they're putting down, and I don't know the next thing they're gonna do, but when I hear it, I got something for it. Just like when I'm playing my djembe and a rapper is rapping, they like it because I'm listening to what they're saying, and then they say, on a 1, 2, then I make blah, 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 blah. You know, just accent them, and it just keeps them going. So yeah, that is when I know is when my mouth get to moving. I'm doing all this and talking and stuff, pop. And also when I zone out. I completely zone out and don't know until blah 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 and we stop. You know, that's what was that? You know, I'm back. But those are two scenarios I know when I'm zoning out. When my mouth gets to moving and I'm talking, and I'll just disappear. I'm there, but I disappear.
Yeah, I actually really feel that when you zone out and then you're like, all right, I'm back. Yeah, I can tell when I'm not focused or like tapped in is when I'm worried about like myself, like, my timing sound like this, like the types. When I'm really in it, then my body just reacts, because I mean, I kind of train for it, right? Like I practice so that when I'm in the moment, I could just be in the moment. So when I tuned in, like I could feel that it just wash over you. You know, you worried about like everything else except you.
Yeah, wow.
There you go.
I'm in the zone when everybody's having a good time. You know, when everybody's happy, and they're moved by the music, then I'm in the zone, because that's what I came to do. Yeah.
I like the stereo field. You make it
I agree with everything. I have no concept of like I anymore. When I'm in the zone, like I'm everything except whatever I claim my identity is, you know, when I'm not in the zone. But all that's just gone. No concept of time. Everything's gone. I'm just like something else. I'm someone else, or like I don't know. Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, what she said. Because, yeah, it just erased, you know. And it just erased the constructs, you know, that ain't never really exist, that depend on the real thing. And you find yourself depending on it, you know, and, you know, it's like in the zone, it's like another word for trance. Yeah? It's like it's a hypnotic space where God can speak directly. And I think that, you know, even I get in the zone sometimes inadvertently, though. Like, it was just last night, you know what I mean? And I was like, I was talking to Mom and I was like, I pray that. And it was like, God had something to say and I forgot what the prayer was. It was like a Men in Black moment, like just, and I feel like that zone, like you, it's like, oh, it don't matter what you was going, God already knows. Right.
I've been waiting to hear that.
And I feel, yes, you waiting to hear it, and you could never come. I just said, praise God, that's all I said. But I think that it's like a memory wipe. Now you experiencing the inventor of times idea of time, instead of like the synthesized versions of time, how much time we have in this.
Ditto. Yeah, I think for me it's not being conscious anymore in making decisions of what's happening. That you're just a vessel and energy just happens. You know, like for me, it's like the music chooses what I play. Right? I'm not intentionally choose. Oh, okay, I'm gonna play this and this and this. Right? It's just like as this song is playing, when I'm in the zone, it's just like the songs just come and they pop up at me, and I'm playing what's being told for me to play.
Oh yeah.
The zone for me.
Big time. Yeah.
Well, all right. Now, I appreciate y'all patience. I think it's music time right now. So they're about to show y'all so y'all can feel. That's right. Hey, you might want to stretch a little bit. You might want to move.
Ele pagou e muito vai There's no hope beneath the sky. Will never arrive that could see my song of love for my infinite. Come on. Infinite, you are my all. Without your smile, the stars would fall, and the moon would lose its glow, and the rivers would cease to flow. I wish you could realize this love I have inside, a love that never dies. For my dear infant eyes. dear infant such a beautiful chords and arrangements to them. Sorry about my pronunciation. I'm working on it, just trying to hear it. Thank you.
It's beautiful.
All right. Yeah. Anything you want to say?
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So let me just give a shout out. This Highland and Ray doing their thing.
I've known John and Henriette for many years. I actually used to live downtown. And Rickie Byars is one of my heroes. I mean, it's just good being here. I'm a musician, I'm a jazz cat, but sometimes as a musician you have to say something. Shaking your booty is fine, but sometimes you have to make some comments. I'm lately getting into inspirational, you call it gospel, whatever. If it moves you, we hope to do that. So when you feel this song, just jump right on the end, clap, whatever you feel led to do.
Thank you.
want you to keep holding on and get ready for your blessing. Get ready for your miracle. Get ready for your breakthrough. Get ready for your miracle. I know you've been hurting deep down inside. Let me encourage you that it's going to be all right. See, troubles and trials, they're going to make you strong. This is only a test, but won't you keep holding on and get ready for your blessing. Get ready for your miracle. Get ready for your blessing. Get ready for your miracle. God's got a blessing. You say it. God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing. Say God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing. Put your name on it. 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 Real quick, it's a swing. It's a swing. You know, I think it's all about your point of view. You know, the glass is half full or it's half empty. And depending on which way you look at it, will determine the outcome of what happens with you. Really.
Or maybe we're going to bucket.
Rise and look around you, and you'll see just who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star, and you will feel every mountain, sea and shore, and you can hear from far and near words never heard before. And on that clear day, you can see
I'm not gonna do it no justice because I don't have to do it there. Because y'all know you need the whole ensemble to get it.
You don't have
But I got I know the whole thing.
Okay.
I can play it.
Give it to
So,
them. Do your thing.
when y'all know that part, which y'all know, clap or
Okay.
with it, do your dance. This is Kakilambe.
Kakilambe.
So this is how it starts off.
I know to get
Here we go.
I know that.
These are hippie songs that I learned. I love playing these.
Have your way.
They gave them to me, so they mine. Okay, the next one is cuckoo. Cuckoo means excited, fun, it's a celebration.
Yes. Enjoy.
from our teacher, Bada Boop. If
Yes.
y'all seen us play, y'all know who Bada Boop is.
Yeah.
The little man that hands of fire. But I learned a little song. No, I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
Take your time.
Kaki Lambe.
Oh,
Was the first song I learned from, but some of you people may remember Michael Cole.
Yeah.
Michael Clark. First one who taught me Kaki Lambe was Michael Clark. And his passing, may he rest in power.
Yes.
And then my other teacher, Badam Boo, came along and helped me revise Kaki Lambe, and also gave me Cuckoo and Danza. Lamba gave me Lambe. I got a couple more in the belt with that. So, and all of these songs are healing songs, and they help refine who I am.
Yeah.
Don't forget this
I say,
picture.
thank you guys.
Okay, so this song is a song that is about the ancestors. Whenever libations are being poured, I always want to sing this song. George, you want to put some grease with me on this?
Grease.
Yeah.
All right.
So when the song was originally written, it was about a friendly universe. So I'm gonna sing both versions. But the song, the version that I sing often now, because so many people made their transition, is the rewrite that my mom sent me once she crossed over. So originally it was the sun, I need the sun, the bright star that lights the earth. Grace, come on, Grace. My soul receives. It is a friendly universe. The sun, I need the sun, the brightest star that lights the earth. My soul receives. It is a friendly universe. This is what I wrote after my mom passed away. I honor those who came before us, those who prayed and cared for me, those who dwell in liberation, who permit me now to speak. Show me how to love and fill my heart with words of inspiration and embrace me as I heal. I honor those who walked and worked and built and bled and died for me to stand and sing in celebration. And to stand till all are free. Great and mighty Holy Spirit, present now and you have shown, present you will be forever. Live through me, sing through my song.
Ooh, my soul delights in you. Can I get a witness? Somebody say hallelujah. Somebody say hey, y'all come on. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Splendid mysteries revealed. I love you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. That's it. That's all I got, y'all.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, there's a playlist as part of this exhibit, and Georgia has a song on my playlist, the Great Blacks. That's one of the greatest hooks of all time, Great Blacks. And then I got also Rickie has a song on there, and Jamael has a song on there too. So y'all on my playlist for this exhibit has a playlist. So some of my favorite artists is right here, right now. We're gonna play a little bit of drumming for a minute, and then our Dave will take us out with some ones and twos on the turntable. So but this is some music that comes from the Congo that we learned from Byars Felipe, and so we're gonna play a little, try to sing a little too.
say one thing about the last song. So the last song, so this is a Congolese tradition, Bantu music. It's separate from the Orisha Yoruba stuff. It's a whole nother planet, but different group of black folks. So those were traditions that were brought here throughout the diaspora, but they also synchronize not just with some of the Catholic deities, but they also synchronize different African deities. And they said, oh, that sounds like what we got over here. And so when I talk about Oya, the last song we sang was for Centeia. Centeia is the Congolese version of Oya. And so in that song, pardon me, that's actually one of my favorite songs that I learned from Byars Felipe. And the song goes, si tu manda como yo, el viento te lleva. Si tu manda más que yo, Centeia te lleva. So that song says, if you know as much as I know, yes, I'm gonna call the wind to come carry you away. Come on now. But if you just happen to know more than me, then I'm gonna call for backup. I'm calling on Centeia. I'm gonna call Centeia, who is the goddess that controls the wind. I'm gonna have her come and get you. So that song is like, okay, if you on my level, I just had a wind fight with you. But if you're a little stronger than me, then Centeia gonna come and get you. So that shows you like music also was to protect and to fight and defend. And so I want to share that. That's a blessing that we learned from Byars Felipe. I'm gonna let the DJ take us out. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for sticking around. Y'all made this day very special for me. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. You know, this is also, I gotta let y'all know, this year I turned 50, so I'm doing it big. We're doing it big. This year hip hop turns 50, so, you know, I'm celebrating with hip hop, you know, so this is our year. So the festivities are just starting.